Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to talk about the vertical container in Tableau. In Tableau, a vertical container is a layout container which is used in dashboard to arrange and manage the placement of multiple objects or visualizations in a vertical stack, one above the another. Vertical containers are a valuable tool for organizing and structuring your dashboards, especially when you have a variety of content to display in a vertical column format. They ensure that the data related elements maintain a consistent alignment and height, contributing to a clean and well organized dashboard design. Vertical containers give you the control over the positioning and sizing of the objects within your dashboard, simplifying the process of creating cohesive and visually appealing data presentations. Whether you're working with the charts, filters, or dashboard components, vertical containers help you maintain a clean and structured layout. So let's go to the Tableau screen and see how can we create these vertical containers over here. So we are in our Tableau screen and I have created 4 visualizations over here. On sheet 1, I have this pie chart. On sheet 2, I have this bar chart, and I also have few visualizations on sheet 3 and sheet 4. Now we will set them on vertical container one by one. So for that, I have to go in this new dashboard option. The first option over here, size, I have to change it. So instead of the range, I will give here the size as automatic so that I can utilize the whole window over here. Now let's say if you are not using any vertical container. So let's say if I'm just dragging the sheet 1 over here and I'm again dragging the sheet 2 over here. Now they are not stacked on top of each other. So in this case, right now they are in the floating option. So I can easily move them anywhere. But let's say if you have created a small bucket and this bucket was of size, let's say of the sheet 1. Now you want to place your 2 or 3 visualizations in this. Let's say if they are a small text-based visualizations, what would you do? In that case, this option is not ideal. Or let's say even if you are taking a tiled option and I'll remove these visualizations. So if you are choosing any tiled visualization and you drag it one by one in a vertical option. So what exactly happens is that it tries to divide the screen space into 2 halves. Now when you are again dragging any third visualization over here, so now there is no space for any other visualization over here. If I'm trying to drag and drop any other visualization, it would again divide the screen space into 2 halves. It can be in the horizontal direction or in the vertical direction. But let's say you needed a small area over here where you needed to put 2, 3 visualizations in a vertical format. What would you do? So in that case, I will go to this new dashboard option again. I will choose the size to be automatic and I can easily drag this vertical container over here. Now this vertical container can be in the form of tiled or even floating. If you are dragging it in the form of tiled, what would exactly would happen is it would first acquire the whole screen space. Then you can easily drag and drop these sheets over here. And you will see that when I'm trying to drag and drop each sheet over here, it is not trying to divide the screen size into 2 halves. So let's say I'm dragging and dropping this sheet 2 over here. The first thing to notice is that the gray area. If you are dragging it like this, there would be a small gray area over here that is highlighting. So you have to place it in that portion. So I'll come over here and place it over here. So right now 2 visuals are there. So the screen space has been divided to half. But what if I have 3 visualizations? What would happen in that case? So again, I'll drag and drop the sheet 3. So I can easily place the sheet 3 over here. Let me wait for the small gray area to come. Yeah. So now you can see I can easily adjust these 3 visualizations and they are in the form of the vertical stack. Even if you want to put any visualization in the bottom part, you can do it with the help of this option. And if you want to put any visualization in the center, you can also do it. So let's say if I'm again dragging and dropping the sheet 3 over here. So you can see now the screen space would be divided into 3 equal halves or 3 equal sizes. Now, this is when you are using the tile option. Let's say you are not using the tile option. What would happen in that case? So I'm again choosing a new dashboard. I'm changing the size to be automatic. This time I'm choosing this floating option and I'm dragging and dropping this vertical container over in screen. Now the first thing is that you need to adjust the size of the vertical container that you have just made. So I will adjust the size of the vertical container. Now let's say I wanted to keep my all the 3 visualizations over here and I want to space them evenly. What would happen in that case? The first thing is that you need to press shift before dragging and dropping any visualization. So I will press shift and drag this visual over here. Again, I will press shift and drag this visual over here. Again, I will press shift and drag this third visualization over here. Now, what you need to do is if you need to select any visual individually, you can do it by going on the top of that visual and clicking. If you are looking at this gray area, that means that particular visualization has been selected. Now you can drag and drop this with the help of these arrows and you can adjust the size of that visual. And I can do the similar thing with the other visuals. So I will select this sheet 3 visual and I will increase or decrease the size depending upon my need. But let's say if you want to distribute them evenly. So in that case, what you need to do is you need to go on the top of this container and you need to double click. So I'll come over here and I will double click on the empty space. So I'll try again. Now this can take few attempts based on where this. Now let's say if you want to divide this screen space into three equal distributions of these three visualizations. In that case, what would you do? You need to select that particular vertical container. So for that, I will go on the top of the vertical container and I will double click. So you can go over here where you place the vertical container and you will double click. Now the screen has highlighted into blue color. That means that the vertical container is now selected. Now what you need to do is you need to click on this more options arrow, and over here you will find the option to distribute the contents evenly. You can use this. Now you can see it has adjusted the size of all the three visuals based on the length and width of the vertical container. So in that case, you can make any vertical container and you can use it, and it is also easy to just decrease or increase the size of our vertical container. So this was all for vertical container. What you can do in this vertical container is that whenever you are creating any dashboard and you need some space on the side when you need to place 3, 4 visuals, or you need to place some smaller visuals over there, you can easily create some containers. Or let's say if you are creating a layout for your whole dashboard, in that case, there would be multiple containers that you can use. Suppose you want a specific part to be occupied by a specific visuals. In that case, it is advisable to create the containers first and then drag and drop your sheets over there. So this was all for this session. We will be meeting in the next session where we will be talking about a different terminology in Tableau. Thank